Welcome to We Learn Virtual Learning Network. This is session 24th of the study of society and the chapter is norms. Let's see the topics to be covered. The nature of social norms, aspects of norms, the function of norms in socialization and social control. The nature of social norms. The word norm is derived from the Latin norms, which is a carpenter's square or rule. Social norms are standards of behavior shared by the members of a social group to which they are expected to conform. Norms refer to accepted and required behavior for a person or a group in a particular setting. So basically, social norms are standards of behavior shared by the members of a social group which they are expected to perform. Social norms which they are the accepted and required standards which they are expected to perform and in which they are expected to behave. Changing nature of social norms. Social norms are standards of a group for controlling the conduct of its members in relation to each other and to the community as a whole. Norms are both prescriptive and prohibitive. In other words, norms require people to do certain things and forbid them from doing certain other things. Gesellschaft and Gemeinschaft norms. The norms of the contractual and secondary groups or associations are more formally laid down. Often the norms or rules which regulate the associations are written down. On the basis of this difference, Gesellschaft and Gemeinschaft norms have been distinguished. According to Earl Bell, 1961, the action norms which will belong to the Gesellschaft category are both rational and efficient where the achievement of goals in society is concerned. Discord in norms. Norms are based on values. They prescribe through relatively specific values what is considered to be good or desirable by the society as a whole or by a particular group. There is a diversity of norms belonging to various groups and these sometimes come in variance with each other. If someone holds a position of power in a government or some other organization, he/she is expected to help and provide employment to his or her kinsmen, but the norms of the organization require a person to select the most efficient candidate. So basically, there's a diversity of norms belonging to various groups. Aspects of norms. There are many concepts which are close to the concept of norm or can be looked upon as its types. For a clear understanding, it is necessary to be familiar with various terms and concepts. Folkways and mores, kindred concepts. It was W.G. Summer who made popular these concepts through his book Folkways, which was first published in 1906. The term folkways is so broad that it encompasses all kinds of social usages and social codes. According to Sumner, 1906, folkways often are like products of natural forces which men unconsciously set in operation and are developed out of experience. Relations between folkways and mores. Mores are those folkways which are viewed as regulators of the society. Folkways is a wider concept and those folkways which are considered to be important for the sustenance of the society are mores. Distinctions between folkways and mores. Some writers treat folkways and mores as separate. Young and Mack, 1972, have drawn a distinction between folkways and mores. They say that folkways are more general in comparison to mores, while mores are folkways which have been greater importance by the society. To have a clear conceptual idea about them, it is essential to treat the less important or significant norms as folkways and more crucial norms as mores. Cooler and Coase also treat folkways and mores as distinct concepts. To them, folkways are customary ways of doing things, but they are not vital to society's well-being. There is much more to be said in favor of regarding folkways as a broad category of which mores are the more effective manifestation. The difference between them is only that of degree, for all folkways regulate socio-cultural life in some way to a greater or lesser extent. Types of norms. Customs, fashions, institutions, and laws embody different types of social norms. Different types of norms are upheld by their particular kinds of sanctions, that is, ways of punishment and reward. Customs as norms, fashion as norms, institutions as social norms, and legal norms. Customs as norms. The primary sanction against the violation of the norms of custom is called social disapproval. Social disapproval comes when there is no sanction for particular patterns of behavior. Deviation from the norms of prevailing fashions is prevented or minimized through the fear of ridicule or contempt, and institutions or procedures which are established so strongly that they become necessary conditions of behavior. Law or legal norms have the power of the state behind them. Fashion as norms. Fashion is a term which applies to a wide variety of aspects of life such as opinions, beliefs, recreation, dress, jewelry, furnishing, architecture, etc. So fashion applies to life in various forms like opinions, beliefs, and jewelry. It is, according to McIver and Page, the socially approved sequence of variation on a customary theme. They see fashions changing in a cyclical way with time. A fashion which is the latest tends to be the most preferred even when it may be ugly or uncomfortable. People prefer that fashion which is in vogue or which is the latest, even though it is not beautiful. Institutions as social norms. The term institutions has been employed in various ways. Some sociologists use it in such a broad sense that it includes almost everything that is socially established. McIver, however, has defined institution. According to him, institutions are established forms or conditions of procedure characteristic of group activity. Legal norms. In modern society, the state alone wields the ultimate sanction of physical enforcement through imposition or threat of imposition of fine, imprisonment, or death. Laws are often derived from customs, but norms become a part of law only when they are upheld by the state. So, laws are derived from customs, the rituals, the practices, but norms become a part of the law only when they are upheld or only when they are given sanction by the state. Integration and conflict of norms. In stable societies, even though there are diverse kinds of social norms, these are ordered and integrated through values which are unanimously accepted by almost everyone. In no society, there is complete conformity to norms by all the people. In modern complex societies, which are marked by unprecedented social differentiation and a fast rate of social change, conflict of norms reaches new heights. A high pace of social change also tends to enhance the conflict of norms and divines. When values are changing fast, it's difficult to judge what's right and what's wrong. The simultaneous existence of diverse systems of values and norms weakens the spirit of conformity because of rapid social change as well as vastly increasing contact between different cultures and ethnic groups. Women as mothers, as wives, as working women, as daughters and daughters-in-law experience role conflict in their everyday lives since the values attached to each role they perform tend to conflict with each other. Even men in today's society face role conflict since traditional male superiority expected from them may conflict with their modern value of treating their women as their equals. So men also face role conflict because the modern value of treating women as equals have come in the forefront. Diversity of norms in different cultures. Sociological and anthropological literature is replete with illustrative material regarding the variety of norms in different societies and different strata of the same society. As McIver and Page point out that there are very few universally prohibited behaviors in society, exception being the taboo on mother-son incest. Some people prohibit marriage within their community while others prohibit outside the community. In some societies, a strict sex code exists for the married but not the unmarried, while in others, the strictness applies to the unmarried but not the married. McIver and Page warn the student of sociology that to be scientific in our investigations, we must develop an unbiased approach to the study of other cultural systems. Wide variation in the norms of different societies underscores the need of viewing social phenomena in relation to their cultural setting. The function of norms in socialization and social control. Socialization refers to the processes through which human infants develop into social beings. Socialization inevitably involves the internalization of the social norms of the group to which the individual belongs. One believes them to be right and proper and even tends to think that one is acting according to the dictates of one's own conscience when one conforms to the norms and values of one's society. So socialization refers to the processes through which human infants develop. So basically, socialization is when internalization of the social norms, internalization of the values take place in the group to which the individual belongs, and also when one is given proper training on what is right, wrong, proper, improper, and one tends to think what is right according to the dictates of one's own conscience when one conforms to the norms and values of one society. The function of norms in socialization. Socialization basically refers to the way people behave, way people conduct themselves socially. In the process of social control, norms play the most crucial part, for it is norms that regulate social behavior, and without such regulation, no stable patterning of social relationship is possible. So without regulations or without the social behavior, there can be no stable pattern of social relationship which is possible. Social groups which embody distinctive patterns of social relationships cannot survive. The maintenance of social organization is unthinkable without the operation of norms. Divines. Norms provide the standards for the control of behavior of individuals towards each other and in relation to various groups and the community as a whole. Divines from norms does exist, and there are a variety of reasons for divines which merit serious study in terms of general theory and also with reference to particular societies. So deviance occurs in society, and there are various ways, there are various reasons why it occurs. Anomy. Anomy literally means the lack of norms or normlessness. Sometimes there is lack of clarity about norms, but the term anomy is more frequently used to indicate ambivalent orientation towards norms. So basically it says lack of norms or normlessness in the society. Sometimes people are not clear about their roles and responsibilities, about the norms existing in the society, about the rules and regulations existing in the society, and they perform something else and they behave or act in a different manner. R.K. Merton has explained anomy in terms of the gap between culturally defined goals and the legitimate means to reach them. So basically, he has mentioned the gap, or he has defined between culturally defined goals and the legitimate means to reach them. So basically, it says that sometimes people don't have that much clarity about rules, norms, and regulations, but anomy literally says that there are lack of norms or lack of rules and regulations in the society. So this was all about norms, society, values, and also making you aware about different norms, social approval, what kind of norms are not accepted by society, and etc. And these are some of the questions. You have to do it yourself. Question number 1, what are social norms and what is anomy? That's all in this session for you. Thank you. Happy learning. Be learning.